Okie dokie. All right. Hello out there in Cyberland. It's me, Ryan Carr, and this is the Ryan Carr Show Live. I am a stuntman and action actor here in Chicago.
I'm Natalie Arteaga, actress, screenwriter, and I am a SAG-AFTRA union officer as well.
Yes, and we have a great show planned for you today. We do a little bit of the stunt news, a little bit of the union news, and a little bit of the local Chicago entertainment industry update. Our producer, Bob Beck, is in the booth. He always speaks the truth. He's the voice of Chicago. Jeremy, our AV, audio-visual guy, is making sure that our show runs smoothly. And my good buddy, Tully isn't here today. Tully has a gig, so we're happy for him. And we hope that he has a delightful Friday. But we're still here, dedicated to getting you guys the information that you need. So, Natalie, I was wondering, quick question, when you get a job, like you get an acting job, how do you find out about it? Who calls you? Who calls you and lets you know that you booked a gig?
Right, well that would be my agent for sure.
Okay.
My agent is my go-to person between me and, casting directors and stuff like that. So my agent's the one that calls me and tells me first refusal, callback, booking. What's it like for you? Who calls you?
Well, it's at one point in time, I would get called by my agent, but this week I booked a gig, and I was called directly by the casting director, which was kind of awesome, and it's never happened to me before. The reason that's cool is because it used to be, back in the day, the old golden Hollywood times, that a lot of the technology and the computers and the Breakdowns Express and the Actors Access and the LA Casting and the casting networks, none of that really happened. A submission was done by sliding some pictures underneath the door of an office, of an agent, of a manager, of representation. And what ended up happening is those people actually end up having relationships because it's somebody that you know. So to have the person that's responsible for you getting the job, not the audition, but the job, call you, it's nice because it's like, oh my gosh, they actually do know my name. You could have a relationship with this person. So, but that was a casting director. Typically, for stunts, things are done a little differently because I don't have an agent and I don't have a manager. There were 2 times that people called me this week and they said, okay, well, what do we do next? Do I need to call your agent, call your manager? And I said, no. I negotiate my own contracts. Now, coincidentally, when I lived in LA, I was working for a management office, so it's pretty hard to pull a fast one on Ryan Carr. But that was shocking to them because I think most of the time when somebody books talent, they go and they call the agent or the manager. So it's nice. I get to keep a little bit of that bubblegum money, as we call it. So that's that.
Well, congratulations on your booking. That sounds fun.
Thank you very much.
So is there's stunts and acting? I mean, is there...
How do you separate the two?
I mean, the casting director calling you, you're an actor as well as a stunt professional, so... Yeah,
it's like the line becomes more and more blurred as time goes on. It's like, it used to seem like there were some professional athletes or some action actors, and those people were the stunt people. They really were. Now, as time goes on, it's like every commercial I see, there's some type of gymnastics or a backflip or parkour or extreme sport or skateboarding. So it's like, are those people booking those jobs as actors with special talents, or are they booking them as stunt people? It would be interesting to see. There aren't really agencies set up to help stunt people procure work in that way. So there is one that I know of. Actually, there are 2. There's Braverman Entertainment, but now I think that they're in North Carolina, so they're not based in the West Coast anymore. And then there's KMR, and KMR has a whole stunt division of their agency. That agent has her own crop of talent, and she gets those people work. How it happens here locally in Chicago is you get a phone call either directly from the stunt coordinator or someone who's working with the stunt coordinator, or working for almost like an assistant to the stunt coordinator.
Okay.
and that person asks you for your pictures, your headshot, your 3/4 picture from your knees all the way up. Oftentimes that will be the person that calls you and lets you know that you have a job. But the information is pretty limited. It's like a casting situation without the formalities of casting. So I think a lot of it's based off of reputation and experience, and it's interesting to be on both sides of the phone call, because I'm sure anyone who watches my Facebook, which is the people watching my Facebook right now, it's no secret I try to help the stunt coordinators locally in Chicago. One of my friends who is the stunt coordinator for Empire, a friend and colleague, he asks for talent. And stunt coordinators do this all the time. They're like, hey, I'm looking for a guy that looks like this guy. I need to find one of these guys. Anybody got a guy? I'm the guy who gets you the guy. I am. And I enjoy that because you get to kind of wear the casting director hat a little bit, and you still get to be part of the team. You may not be the actual stunt double. You may not be the guy actually, there on set, but you might have helped that person get on set. And
yeah, Ryan, we all know people in this business. We're all looking to help each other out. So, one hand helps the other. You scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Exactly.
So we're all in this together.
And it's like, just because I'm in the Ryan Carr business, which I am, and that's why it's called the Ryan Carr Show, I am in the Ryan Carr business, don't get me wrong. I can still point somebody in the right direction, right? Yeah. I can still send the elevator back down for somebody and give them some information that's going to help them with their career. Once people start, limiting information and stopping you from having your own business, I think that's when it actually becomes a good thing to be in a union, which, I am in the union. Bob's in the union. Natalie's in the union. It's almost like the union is around to be that confidential forum where people can, I know they call it grievance and resolution, and we have words for all of these things, but at the end of the day, it's just a forum. It's a public space where we can conduct business and not really be judged about it. Right?
Well, and the strength in that is that we're all people that are coming together to support any one of us who's being violated or exploited against. That's our greatest strength, is when we go on strike and we withhold all of our resources to stand up for something that we all need. Originally fair wages and working conditions and safe sets and that kind of thing. So we're still building off of that. But at the heart of the principle of it, it's to protect the whole group against the exploitation of employers who traditionally, it's part of their business model to
save money.
To save money.
Producers and the employers and the production, the studio, they are trying to save every penny that they can. To be a good producer is somebody who saves the production money. So a lot of times that gets factored into the blue-collar workers of the industry.
So that compression is going to come down onto the talent, onto all of us that are auditioning or trying to get work in this town. And so when you hit that glass ceiling, in any business that you're in, the more you know about your business, the more you'll know where those ceilings are and how to bypass them. And one thing is to make smart alliances.
There's also, you're right about that, Natalie. It's like there's the industry, okay? There's the industry, the entertainment industry, and then there's the industry within the industry, okay? The industry within the industry, okay? The industry is like getting like a real acting job. The industry within the industry is like agents, managers, publicists, lawyers, all these people that you give percentages to. There are more acting classes than there are actors. There are more acting workshops and all of these resources than there are acting jobs. So that kind of represents the industry within the industry, okay? Mm-hmm. Those are people making money off of people that want to be in the industry but aren't quite there yet. That's why I take workshops and trainings and everything very seriously. The way that I operate through all of my things in Chicago is that I teach a workshop. I make sure that I'm involved in the training of the next wave of stunt people. I think you have to be very careful about the different types of training and the different types of people that you go to for a training. I would never go for something quote unquote stunt training, which is stunt performers or stunt coordinators, any of that action sequence stuff, and do your research. I would never go train with that with someone who isn't in the union, because by definition, you have to be a SAG-AFTRA person to be a stunt person. You have to be working on the films and television shows. So if you've never gotten your SAG card and you're not working on the film and television shows, what are you doing teaching a workshop? I mean, what qualifies that person to do that? Now, is it an extracurricular activity? Is it something fun to do? Maybe, under the right circumstances and environment, yeah, I could see people getting an adrenaline kick from learning certain aspects of the industry within the industry. But as a whole, to advertise that as something that could get somebody a job, there's no guarantee that's going to get you a job.
No, that's completely fallacious marketing, and it's very harmful
Yeah,
to the people that are paying money to try and build their career or do something, and
it's on you as a professional performer, though, to like research the people that you're training with. And I mean, if somebody doesn't have a SAG card and they're advertising that they can teach you some type of stunt workshop or any type of professional training that you would then apply to one of these union jobs, and they don't have a union card, scratch your head. Maybe do a little research before you sign up and register for that one. However, we do have workshops, and we are in the industry, not only in the industry, but in the industry within the industry. We have qualified people coming to the workshops.
We have a stunts acting and casting discussion next Saturday, and we're going to be featuring David Murphy, who's an active casting and session director here in Chicago. So if you need to, get an agent, start booking more, or you book commercials, you want to book TV, or you want to get into other casting offices, and getting in front of someone like David Murphy is going to help that. You have.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. You have guests that come to your workshops.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that don't really have an agent or manager yet, and maybe need to start researching how those things operate. Mm-hmm. I've helped stunt people get agents and managers. Not that they ever thank me or return my phone calls, but
yeah, I know the feeling.
Right? Not that it gets you anywhere, but getting an agent is typically the first step for an actor. Okay? Becoming a stunt person, the first step, which I said one of our first episodes, is number one, you have to meet a stunt person, and you have to somehow apprentice a SAG-AFTRA stunt person.
This is our standard right here. If they're not SAG-AFTRA, they're just not. I mean, if any of you that may disagree with me, sure, tell me your favorite non-union actor. Crickets. Tell me your favorite non-union movie. You tell me. All of them. Name all your favorite actors. They're all SAG-AFTRA actors. So if you're taking a class with anyone, working with someone, you need to know where they stand in the industry before you know how seriously you can take them.
That was a very good way of putting it. Well
Thank
said.
you, Ryan. Thank you.
Well, this is the Ryan Carr Show. I'm Ryan Carr. This is Miss Natalie Arteaga. Tully isn't here today. Bob, Jeremy in the booth. We're going to go to a quick commercial. The Ryan Carr Show is brought to you by the Ninja Club Production Company. It's professional stunts, parkour, gymnastics, and workshops for just about anybody. I mean, honestly,
any level of the industry, we've got something for
We're a one-stop shop. If you guys are looking for a production ninja thing,
ask us anything. Between us, we'll have it.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll find it for you. Hit us up with some comments and questions on Facebook, and we'll be right back with the Ryan Carr Show after this.
And we're out.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Good afternoon, everybody. The whole idea for the show came from Ryan and I discussing the industry and how we can reach out to more people, how we can help people, and basically let people know what's going on in this town, because we keep getting questions from people about how to get an agent, what's filming, how do I do this, how do I get training. So we thought we'd encapsulate it all in a show that you can watch every Friday, and watch the studio version next week on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been uploading these also onto YouTube. onto our YouTube channel. And what's been really cool about that is that the green screen version looks awesome, you guys. This guy, Jeremy, that Bob found when he put the whole production together, Jeremy's really helping us do some high-tech stuff, and we're learning a lot. So we're happy to share everything that we've learned with y'alls. But right around now is time to check in with Miss Natalie Arteaga with the union
Okay.
update. Wait, but even before, didn't someone just contact you because they were looking for one of the stunt people?
Yes, actually, a little bit before we went on live, I got an email from someone looking for a member of the stunt community to put in our playback issue. So they wanted to profile a stunt performer, so...
Stuff like this happens all the time. It's like, you guys, my email that confirmed my audition was in my junk email folder. It's like, you really got to check your emails. I met Natalie because I answered one of her emails. I think people would be more surprised than you'd think just how small of a community the 4,000 people are in Chicago.
It's a very small community, so say please and thank you and be as gracious as you can be all the time.
And don't interrupt people. So Natalie, before I interrupted you, will you please go
Okay,
into
so I just got my union update, guys. We had our last caucus, the last of our 3 delegates caucuses for convention coming up, so that went really well. We endorsed some really great resolutions, some obvious ones, some interesting ones. I can't really elaborate too much on that.
Is that because it's the confidence of the members, right?
It's actually just political. It's
Oh.
just political. So Chicago has some resolutions that we're getting through, and we got some feedback from pre-review committee, to make some adjustments, that kind of thing. So the resolutions that we're supporting, they're coming up from other locals like Los Angeles or New York or, anywhere basically. And I mean, it's political. We still have this horrible faction problem, so people are looking at a resolution, maybe it's a stunt resolution and it's from someone who's membership first, so people are like, or they're looking at something that's
They're
from...
prejudiced because
They're prejudiced
they know
because they know that the person making that resolution is either membership first or Unite for Strength, or they're unhappy with the current administration, which is awesome. I love Gabrielle Carteris. So there's that kind of in the air.
So until that stuff dies down, it's going to be pretty hard for any of us to get any of our resolutions or things pushed through. Because the resolution that we just talked about was making sure that Chicago, locally, could have our own new media attention. And,
Right.
and what that means is basically it's like a resolution put out there that says, hey, instead of us sending all of our new media contracts and all of our new media ideas and all of our films to LA to get processed and go through all this, why can't we just send it to someone at the Chicago offices? Why can't that be part of their, responsibilities?
Right.
Because we have a lot, it doesn't streamline the process. It actually backs us up.
Yeah. Okay, so we did get some word back on that particular resolution, and what we got back was that it's a national executive director's decision. It's a staff decision. So basically, Eric Chadron is our local executive director. So if you guys have any staff issues, if you have any staff, hopefully not any complaints, but if you had a complaint, you would want to talk to someone like Eric Chadron because he's kind of everyone's boss. Right? So our national executive director is David White, and so he's going to be overseeing all of the staff everywhere, servicing SAG-AFTRA members. So what they basically said was that's not really our jurisdiction. We can maybe work with him, but it's maybe something that can be worked out outside of a resolution,
Maybe one day when the right person arrives in Chicago, everyone will update their websites and we'll have our own new media contract person in the headquarters?
Well, I'm sure it just takes a couple discussions. We're going to see him at convention. Your Chicago local officers. I've worked with David. He's wonderful. He's an excellent negotiator. He's very logical and reasonable. Our national officers, JCB, Alyssa, and Richard, have all worked with him, spoke with him. So we're putting in good words on that. But,
well, it's good. It's good to get some headway. I mean, if we didn't know you, Natalie, we wouldn't know at what step any of these resolutions are in the process.
Well, we're trying, and I'm sure it's frustrating for everyone. Everyone that's trying to do their new media projects, ultra low, anything that's taking more time on the union side to process paperwork-wise, it's going to be frustrating, and we don't want to slow anyone down. So we're doing the best that we can as far as Chicago local officers go. Your local board, I'm doing the best I can. So if there's anything else that you guys want, though, you have to let us know. You have to communicate.
It'd be great if like a really smart, kind of maybe a millennial, like a computer-centric person could figure out how to put all this on the app. What if we just had it all on the app? Like what if we had it all on the app, it would reduce maybe many jobs. It would have a lot of potential unintended consequences. It could maybe be susceptible to hacking. I mean, there's a lot of, whenever anyone comes up with an idea, guys, it gets up for discussion, and you have 25, 35, 100 people weighing in on all these different variables, potentialities on what effect this could possibly have on every member in every situation now in the future. And then there's people that have political agendas, and there's people that just don't like certain people, and there's people that are kind of just ridiculous, so it gets really hairy and complex. So, but we do our best. So yeah, and thank goodness for nice people like Ms. Natalie Artiaga, who comes and volunteers her time every Friday to give you guys the news and the information. Because you know what, nobody else is doing it, are they, Bob?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Sorry to interrupt you, Natalie.
You're okay. Okay, so we have our board meeting on the 18th, and that's going to be, next week's episode is going to be a really great episode because they'll have our union report, our staff reports from the director of TV Theatrical. So Kathy Byrne gets all of the production information that comes through Chicago. She gives a monthly report on the Chicago TV and film industry to the local board. The local board is supposed to disseminate this information for everyone else to know.
Disseminate the information for everyone else to know.
So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm happy to do on the Ryan Carr Show, giving me this platform to share this information. So next Friday I'll have waivers, things that came through, money that we got back from members, that kind of thing. So it's going to be next week's episode is going to be super good.
So that's something specifically for the board too, the
Yes.
people that we elected?
Correct.
That's local?
That's local.
Okay. Nationally, Bob Beck and I, what did we do?
You guys submitted the National Committee Service Request Form to serve on the National Stunt and Safety Committee. Nationally. So you would be connected with other stunt performers all over basically the nation.
Like really important stunt
Stunt performers. And there was actually a resolution that I endorsed that came up from, was it Debbie Evans?
Yes, Debbie Evans.
Debbie Evans. Wonderful, wonderful resolution about taking
the returnement
out early for stunt performers because your guys' joints
bodies
and
are destroyed.
Bodies are disintegrating. So,
yeah.
So that was good.
Hopefully, Miss Gabrielle Carteris will approve of Bob Beck and I representing Chicago, representing all the Chicago stunt people, representing all the stunt people nationally at the Stunt and Safety Committee. So you know what? Hopefully we have some good news for you guys, and hopefully I would put me on the committee. Why not? But more from Natalie.
Right, so that's the board meeting on Monday, and then next Tuesday, the 19th, we have a Constitution meeting. So the Constitution meeting will basically be when we talk about anything we want to change in the Constitution. Changing and amending things in the Constitution is very difficult, so I'm sure there's going to be a very long process for anything anyone decides they may or may not want to do. Just added a bunch of words for fun. And then, okay, this is like the downer part of my update. So union dues, guys, twice a year. I think it's like April, May, and October, but it's always Halloween.
It's always Halloween.
It's always Halloween, so get those union dues in because then you know, there's going to be problems if they call you up and they need you to. It's kind of the same thing like having an updated passport. There's so many people that don't have updated passports. Have an updated passport. Pay your union dues. Make it simple.
And Halloween too. We're throwing a Halloween party at the Ninja Club production company. Our Ninja Club production. I love how Tully's head is just like tilting slowly into me. The Ninja Club production company. We are based out of a renovated funeral home. We always make sure that our Halloween parties are a lot of fun and that there are a lot of dancing and
good times.
Good times, yeah. But other than that, Bob, did you have anything else that you wanted to report on? This is the first time we've really had a special guest. Yeah, the
Producer
special
in the
guest is
booth.
our producer, but at the same time, Bob Beck is also a stuntman, and I mean, Bob, you've been an actor. You're with Ambassador Talent. I mean,
Right.
why don't you talk a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been around for a while, acting, modeling, stunt work. This show provides us with a voice to connect with everybody, and I have a lot of people who've been asking me how to get involved in the business, how to get into stunts, and this is what we're trying to do, is help more people out. I've also had people who have contacted me about getting on the show to promote. I will be reaching out to people for sponsorship, if you will. People who want to promote their business, industry-related business. I mean, I respect, house painters and plumbers, but, that's a different audience. So
That's my audience.
Right. So we'll look to have in the future guests, more workshops, stunt workshops, acting workshops, workshops about stunt etiquette, set etiquette. It's one thing to get booked a job, but once you're booked, you got to know what you're doing once you get that phone call and all the steps afterwards. So.
Very good.
Well, we're very lucky that Bob put a lot of this together, and kind of goes without saying, this is kind of a team thing going on here, but Natalie does a lot of production stuff in post. Miss Natalie Arteaga is a very, very smart person,
Oh, thank
and
you.
I really wouldn't mess with her. And what we really wanted was questions. We were looking to kind of test the waters here with this whole live format, to seeing if we could get kind of a real-time Q&A going on, which was how the show started with you. It does seem like every week more and more people check in. If it's Friday, guys, and you have a question about the union, or you have a question about auditions or management or anything, I mean, it's like, if we don't know the answer, we will try to find somebody who does. We could call Kathy Byrne, we could call anybody, really.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's part of the value that, when I was campaigning for Chicago presidency and I sent out this, email across all the membership and you answered, it was one of the things that I wanted to happen, as far as kind of bringing everyone together and just hearing more about all the different segments of our membership.
Well-
So when you bring people together like that, I mean, it's,
Well-
between the two of us, if you have something that you'd like to ask, or that between the two of us, or you can come out to the discussion next Saturday with David Murphy, between a casting director, a stunt professional, a union officer, and 2 actors, you will get your question answered, you will be pointed in the right direction, and, I mean, we're union, it's
and
all-
pay it
it's all
forward to
legit.
the next people.
Pay it forward to the next people.
Well, I just want to thank everybody once again, and this has been the Ryan Carr Show. Been a little laid back. We didn't have Tully Bertorelli, our good buddy, here today. He's working hard. Watch out for Big Tully. We will be back here every Friday, and keep an eye out for the updates on my Facebook and pretty much everybody's Facebook, right?
Yep.
Where we take this show, and then you guys get to see the whole green screen, the whole effect of everything. It's like, we wanted to make a show about making a show. So here it is. Stay out of trouble, Chicago, and thank everybody so much for watching, liking, and sharing.
And if you want to be on the show, give us a call or message us or just contact us. We'll see what we can do.
All right.
All right.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.